Did you ever go to the gym, lifted some weights, put out your phone, swipe left, right, and at the end of the week, zero progress, zero motivation? Yeah, that was us.
But today that changes. In this video, you will learn about the essential ingredients of what makes up a good training plan. So hey, if you are new here, we are Kevin and Benny, and we are two friends on a journey to become better men and trying tools for physical, mental and emotional growth. We are not the pros, but we are working with pros, and we share our honest experience and feedback and try to inspire other men to try out some of these tools.
Yeah, to see what worked, what didn't work, and today we're breaking down the core principles of an effective training plan together with Dennis Tanhoer, who is the former athletic coach of Bayern Munich Basketball. So we went to the gym and didn't really track what we do, didn't really have a plan what we do. And of course, we lost motivation, we hit plateaus, there was no real progress.
No one actually was believing that we were going to the gym.
Yes, that's the worst. So that's why we turned to somebody who knows how to grow. Meet the person who made me and Benny lose 3 to 5% body fat in only 2 months.
There are many principles to weight training, but if I only could recommend you 3, number 1 would definitely be choose the right exercises. And the right exercises, statistically seen, are the big exercises. Those are exercises which give you, in the same amount of time you would apply to any other exercise, the most return on invest. For example, the squat. The squat is the most famous exercise where you have a bar on your shoulders. You go all the way down and all the way up again, and you use over 450 muscles in that movement. So in the sense of what the nervous system has to deliver there and what your metabolism has to deliver there, this is the most efficient exercise you could choose for the lower body. Under the category of the big exercises, we have squats, deadlifts, maybe split squats. For the upper body, it's pull-ups, dips, bench press, maybe overhead press, and some rowing exercises. So choose one of those 8 exercises to really put a big fundament for your training. Principle number 2 is the range of motion. The range of motion is very important. The longer the range of motion is, the more metabolic stress you apply to your muscles, which in return means that you are doing more work. And this is what we want to do in training. We want to put in the right work to get the return out. Number 2, it's very good for your joints. The body acts after a principle which you could call use it or lose it. If you don't use the full range of a joint, it will, over time, lose the full range. So it's a very smart way, if you have 2 to 3 hours of fitness training, to move all your joints over the full range of motion to keep the joint healthy over the next years and decades. Principle number 3 is you need to train progressively. So it's very simple. If you want your body to adapt in the direction you have never been, you need to apply a stressor you never applied before. It's very simple. You need to put on a little weight every training you train to have a new stimulus to force your body to adapt in this direction. And if it's not possible to do 1 rep more or to do 1 kilogram more each training, we need to change the plan and then train progressively again. First of all, exercise selection. The 5 to 8 big exercises are doing a much better job in developing your body than all those isolation exercises we can put around. If you are, for an individual reasons, not able to do one of those exercises, we need to substitute. But if you're healthy, we need to make sure you're getting better, aka train progressively, in one of those big exercises. When I tell my clients how I structure my plans, I always tell them the big stones come in the glass first, because you can put all those little stones around the big stones, but the other way around it doesn't work. If the glass is full of little stones, the big stones have no place in the glass anymore. So as this analogy tells you, we need to choose the big exercises first. This is number 1. Number 2, don't pick too many exercises. Why? Because the more exercise you put in one plan, the worse the adaptation to the single exercise gets. For example, if I put squats, chin-ups, dips, deadlifts, leg curls, biceps curls, crunches in one training plan. First of all, you will be 2 hours in the gym, which is just from a hormonal standpoint, not the ideal way to do it. And number 2, you will be so fatigued after exercise number 3 that the intensity you will do number 4 with is so low that your body has not the stressor it needs to adapt in this direction. So the much more intelligent way to do it is pick a few exercises which have the most return of investment for you and get better at it. So my rule of thumb is don't do more than 5 to 6 exercises in one plan. Very important when you do a plan, it contains of many parameters. Sets, reps, breaks, tempo, and for sure intensity. If you don't write it down, you will over time for sure forget what you did last training. So one of the most important rules in strength training is write down what you did in a given training session to be at least 1 kilogram or 1 repetition better when you do it the next time. Another thing which I try to teach my clients is to have variation. Many people stick to the set rep scheme 3 times 10 to 12 pull downs, chin-ups, bench presses or whatever for too long. This is a classical hypertrophy set rep scheme, which is not bad, but it just works for a given amount of time. So if it doesn't work anymore, we have to change the plan. So there is no perfect training plan. There is just a perfect training plan for a given moment in time. So for example, if I did 6 weeks, 3 times 10 to 12, maybe afterwards it makes sense to do 4 times 6 to 8. Or even a 5 times 5. A good coach is a good coach because he can decide when it's time for the right set rep scheme. So variation is a big factor to be successful over time, because a training plan just works for statistically 6 to 8 sessions, and afterwards we need to adapt and to change little things to make you train progressively for a longer period of time. Another factor is frequency. For example, if you train 2 times a week, you need to have a full body program, because scientifically seen, you need to train one movement pattern, like let's say for example the squat, the split squat, the dip or whatever, twice a week to have optimal recovery, and on the base of optimal recovery, progression in the next training session. So if you just do 2 sessions, ideally you would say Monday, Thursday or Tuesday, Friday, to have a good recovery in between, and then set the next stimulus, the next training, because you're optimally recovered and can progress. If you have more time, more energy or recover better, then we could train 4 times a week. And this is the frequency we need to do a split. And then there are many ways to split a training plan. For example, you could do upper body or lower body. The plan I gave Kevin and Benny, for example, was a split from upper body and lower body.
Yeah, let's go. I know they waiting on me. I know they waiting on me. The world is waiting on me.
If there is no injury or no problem which prevents us from squatting, the squat is the number 1 exercise I would recommend to anybody to do, okay? So take a step back. Half of your foot goes on the board. And we don't want to have a rounded or arched back under load. So the easiest way to prevent in the first phase any injury of the lower back, and you told me your lower back might be your weak link. So I just elevate the heels to make him be able to squat as upright in the torso as possible. The tempo of his movement he should do is 4-0-1-0. Meaning he goes 4 seconds down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, 1 up and 4 down. 1, 2, 3, 4 and pop, and go all the way down and walk it back in. One of my favorites to build lower back strength is the 45-degree back extension with the dumbbell in front of your chest. Down, down. 0, 1, 1, 2, and 3 down. I give him a pause on the biomechanically heaviest position for his lower back, which supports his position he has under the bar while squatting. One, 2, 3, 4, up. 1, 2, 3, 4, and get up there, fast, boom, 1, 2, 3, 4. And get up there, top. 1, 2,
Go.
easy. 1, 2, 3, 4. Get up. Go to 6 reps. Elbows closer to the body. And get up. Last one. Bench supinated biceps curl. If you observe people in the gym training, what they often do is they lower the weight and start re-lifting the weight from here. Okay? But if you go full range of motion, maybe even contract the triceps to have a full lockout, and then from the lockout position now you curl up again. This is a simple trick to have more growth and functional strength in your elbow flexors. You sit down, the pulley is on hip height, elbows are fully extended, and your shoulder blades are or your upper back is a little rounded. All the way, center, boom. Slowly down, inhale, round back, straighten up your back, and pull it versus your stroke, okay? That's it. Slowly down, inhale, elbows close to the body, and push up again. Boom. Nice. Slowly down. So what we did in training A, which was on Monday, was squats and back extensions. So a lot of posterior chain work, and we did a lot of sets and reps for the squat, because in my opinion is one of the most important exercises. So we just chose those 2 exercises and secured that they got better from session to session. And the plan on Tuesday, for example, was upper body, containing 4 to 5 exercises like chin-ups. I like to combine in a so-called Doppelstationstraining, that's the official name, where you combine antagonists. So one pushing exercise you combine with the pulling exercise, which is just time efficient and makes you able to do more work in less time. So all in all, if we think about the optimal training plan, if you choose weight training as an option for you, which I highly recommend, even if you don't find the time, even if it's maybe not the thing which you have a passion for, even once a week would be enough. So the less you do it, the more important makes it to consult an expert. So I highly recommend to work with a personal trainer or someone who's really into program design to help you with those first 2, 3 to 10 programs to really secure you have progress and return on invest.
Alright, so following Dennis' training plan, we finally had a plan when going to the gym. We tracked every set, we measured the progress, and at the end we became stronger every week.
For us, it felt like a complete new way of going to the gym. After a very long time of having the same routine, we were motivated for the first time again.
Yeah, because you lock the result, you see the progress.
And guess what? It was not only on paper. I lost 5% body fat and you
3%
in just 3 months. So there was real progress besides having more fun at the gym.
And these are really quick our key takeaways. Plan first, lift second. You need a plan when you're going to the gym.
Progress is non-negotiable. There will be no growth without progress.
Also, recovery is part of the plan. You need to give your body time for restructuring.
Log in the data. So meaning you have to really write down number of sets, weight, progress every week.
And progress creates motivation. Alright, me and Benny learned, new in this business, that every good video needs to have some good call to actions.
The normal ones, like, comment, subscribe, please, so we can continue to do what we are doing. If you want to have an expert session and go deeper with Dennis himself, there's a link in the description below. And yeah, we are working on more exciting stuff.
We are right now building a product actually about holistic growth. And if you want to be one of the first ones to be part of this, you can sign up to the waitlist, which the link to it will be put into the comments. All right, having said that, let's grow.